So you can see in this problem we have a 2i, a complex number, down in the denominator. It's not a real number. It's got an imaginary part. In fact, it's a pure imaginary number, right? So you might be thinking, okay, well, I want to multiply by the conjugate, but what's the conjugate of 2i? You also might be thinking, oh, well, I could just put 3 over 2i plus 3. Don't do that. I mean, you could do that, but I think it's just going to make more work for yourself. Okay, so think of 2i as 0 plus 2i, right, in a plus bi form. So the conjugate is going to be 0 minus 2i, or just negative 2i. So that's what we want to multiply by. So I'm going to rewrite the problem, 3 plus 3i over 2i. Let me put parentheses around the numerator. And I'm going to multiply then by a negative 2i here and a negative 2i in the numerator as well. And so what am I going to get? Well, I'll have to distribute here. So that's going to be a negative 6i. And then I'll have to distribute here, which is going to be a negative 6i squared. Okay, so we'll deal with that later. Make sure I did my signs right. Okay. And then in the bottom, what do we get? Well, we get 2i times negative 2i, which is going to be, you can think of it as a negative 4i squared. And then we'll deal with that too. Okay. So now you have negative 6i. It's going to be plus 6. Now, why is that? Because this I squared equals negative 1. So you got negative 1 times the negative 6, which is going to make that plus 6. Okay. Over, it's going to be 4, because, again, this I squared is going to be equal to negative 1. And so you're going to have negative 4 times negative 1, which is positive 4. So now all we have to do is kind of clean this up a little bit. So we've got the numerator. I'm going to switch that around to be 6 minus 6i over 4 because I want to put the real part first and then the I part. And then I'm going to split that up into two to their own parts, the a plus bi. So I'm going to put 6 over 4 minus 6 over 4i. Okay, so that's like what we did on the last problem. And then I'm going to simplify the fractions. So we still simplify the fractions if we can. So 3 over 2 minus 3 over 2i. Now it is kind of unusual that both a and b are 3 over 2. But well, I guess one's positive and one's negative. But that's just the way they wrote the problem. So, okay, there we go.